is Amanda Johansen. I play on the Brave, and you're listening to Pro Lacrosse Talk.
On Schreiber. Sidearm whip. Scores!
Now in front. Fennell scores! Paul Rabel splits two and scores!
Kylie O'Miller showing off those shifty skills.
Kelly, not shy, bounces one home. What a start!
Welcome to Pro Lacrosse Talk, the voice of pro lacrosse. I'm Hutton, he's Adam, and together we're bringing you interviews with your favorite players and coaches, as well as news from all 4 professional lacrosse leagues. I'm here with former USC Trojan, Brave midfielder, and now WPLL Champion, Amanda Johansen, who had a big impact on the Braves championship run. Amanda, thank you for joining us on Pro Lacrosse Talk.
Thanks for having me.
So Amanda, you played a pivotal role in the championship win. You won 5 draws. You caused a turnover, and you scored 4 goals, 3 of them that were in the Braves' fourth quarter comeback. How are you and your teammates able to stay strong despite being down 3 goals with less than 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter? And what does it feel like to be a WPLL champion now?
It's absolutely awesome. Such an exciting game, and I'm really happy that it kind of played out the way it did and kept things exciting and kind of kept everyone on their toes. But I think we were confident the whole time, just knowing the talent that we had in our team and the type of people. We're a very diverse group. I feel like we look around the locker room and we're kind of like, why were we selected for this team? Because we come from, all different colleges and just all over the place. But I think at the end of the day, we're just a bunch of, selfless players and workhorses out there, and we're kind of willing to do whatever it takes to come out with the win. And I feel like, when the game got tight and the fourth quarter came around, that's exactly what was showcased on the field.
Yeah, no, it was a really great game, back and forth, and like I said, it looked like the fight were gonna, come away with a victory, and you guys just never quit. Scored 4 straight, and that ended up being the difference maker at the end. But congratulations. But I want to go into kind of your high school days. Actually, you were a 3-sport athlete. You played soccer, basketball, and lacrosse at North Shore High School on Long Island. How did playing multiple sports help you in lacrosse, and why did you ultimately choose to play lacrosse in college?
I have a brother that's only 13 months older than me, and then I have 2 younger siblings that were all super close. And kind of just growing up, our life was just sports, whether it was going to their football games or going skiing, snowboarding, playing basketball, soccer, lacrosse, anything. It was just always there and always what we were doing. And when it came to high school, I really focused on soccer, basketball, and lacrosse all at the same time. But when it came to kind of deciding where I was going to go, ultimately and play in college, lacrosse was just a sport that I felt like I could get better at every single year. I felt like there wasn't a point where I was going to plateau because I really loved the game, and it kind of combined every sport that I played, and it was just something that I can go outside and work on a different skill every day, and there was always something to improve on and get better at, get faster, stronger, and all different aspects and I just really loved it. It was something that I could see myself doing for the rest of my life, I guess. But in high school, playing a variety of sports was super beneficial to my game. I loved soccer my whole life. When I was little, if you asked me what I wanted to do when I was older, it was going to be a professional soccer player, kind of until lacrosse became, the bigger thing in my life. But basketball was great too. I had an awesome team. All my friends were on that team. It was really fun. I definitely missed basketball, I think, the most. But yeah, I really think it's important to play all different sports. I think it, each sport translates differently into the game of lacrosse. When I play offense, I feel like when I'm driving in lacrosse to goal, I'm using kind of what I did as a point guard in basketball. When I'm playing defense, I'm in that basketball position, and then soccer with the running just really correlates to the sport.
It's true. Yeah, I know my dad, he coaches, and he would always say, sometimes the best lacrosse players would be basketball players because you really know the defensive positioning, and like you said, it's the 6-on-6 game is very similar, at least in men's, to basketball, and it's kind of getting more similar with women's, especially with some of these new rule changes. Let's talk a little bit about your college career. You recorded 194 points off of 134 goals and 60 assists at USC, and you had 258 draw controls when your career was finally said and done at USC. But how was it like playing college lacrosse, and especially on the West Coast where it's not as popular of a game?
It was awesome. I had an amazing experience. I actually was part of the first class of lacrosse at USC, so it was definitely unique, but I wouldn't have changed anything. It was so cool to kind of see all our hard work that we're in a program that we're building together, and at the end, I felt like we were successful in those 4 years building a program. It was hard work, but it was so cool, and I just loved being a part of it. I had great teammates. They're my best friends. I actually lived with them last year in California together still. But yeah, playing in the West Coast, it was different. When we first started, people out there, they didn't really know what we were doing. A lot of people asked us, what those were in our hands or holding lacrosse sticks. But I think by, the end of our senior year, people were aware. We took part in kind of just growing the game out there. But then you had the other programs as well on the West Coast that were always awesome. And it's so cool to see today, like how big the sport is growing on the West Coast. But again, our senior year, we had an undefeated regular season. We were conference champs, and we made it so close to making it to the Final Four. And it was really crazy, kind of whirlwind of 4 years from starting, at zero and then making it that far.
That's awesome. And, in addition to playing in the WPL, now you currently coach. You're an assistant with Hofstra, and you were with your alma mater, USC, for a year, and then Mount St. Mary's previously. But how is coaching kind of different from playing?
Coaching is different you learn a lot more, I think, as a coach. It's made me a better player. Watching film, scouting, recruiting, kind of just being around it 24/7 has really helped my own game. But I think the way that I coach, I kind of like to use my own personal experiences and just the fact that, like, I'm still playing and I wish I was able to continue playing in college for 5, 6, 7 more years. I kind of can show the girls, like, what they have in front of them is so important and they shouldn't take it for granted. But coaching is great. I feel like every day I get to go out and do what I love and stay around the game. And just the girls, they're so good nowadays. Like, everything that they're doing out there, like, I feel like I'm learning every day from them. And then I get to teach them a little bit on my end. But really just staying involved and watching film on other teams and preparing our team really just helps, as a coach, translating it to when you get a chance to go out on the field and you kind of get to do everything that you go out there and watch every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we mentioned you played out west, you coached for USC out west, but you've also kind of gone internationally with the WPLL. You visited Japan and England. Tell me about how those experiences playing overseas have been.
Yeah, those experiences were so cool. I kind of taken every opportunity that I can from the WPLL to do, just to do anything I can with lacrosse. And the first thing I did was go to Japan with the select team. And when we were out there, we put on a few clinics and we experienced the country. And then we were able to play in this, like, amazing game where a ton of fans came and we were able to play Japan. And it was awesome to see the game growing out there. Like, those girls were so good. And I loved every minute of that. And then actually a few weeks ago, I was in England with another select group of WPL players, and we had 3 days in a row where we played 3 straight games against Team England, and that was so cool to me. It was really good competition, and I love my team, and it was just a really fun 3 days, and then I stayed an extra day with Alyssa Leonard, and we actually got to go to the Yankees-Boston game in London, which was so cool, and come back. So, the WPLL has given me so many amazing opportunities, and I'm going to continue to keep taking advantage of them because every opportunity to grow the game and to continue to play is something that I love to do.
That's awesome. It's great that, they're having these initiatives to grow the game internationally. And sticking with the international theme, lacrosse will be in the Olympics in less than 10 years. How do you see the sport growing in the next 10 years, and do you have hopes to play as a member of the Olympic team one day?
Like I said, the sport is growing like crazy. I think props to, the PLL and the WPLL and, everyone else that's doing their part in growing this game, whether it's through social media or going out and traveling to these places and putting on clinics. Also, the coverage of sports. The more that people can see the game, I think the more that it's going to grow, because when they finally get a chance to watch the game, they see how exciting of a sport it is. And, I hope to get as much coverage of the sport as we can in the future. And for the Olympics, yeah, that's going to be absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see, where lacrosse goes in that. And, yeah, I 100% would absolutely, that'd be a dream come true to be a part of that team. But, there's just so many amazing players out there. And just having the sport and having Team USA be able to be represented in lacrosse in the Olympics, even if I'm not there, is just still such an amazing accomplishment for the sport in general.
That's awesome. And like you said, the WPL is, giving you these opportunities. The fact that you get to play as a professional in a women's professional lacrosse league is, I think, in and of itself an amazing accomplishment. Did you ever dream one day that you would be playing the sport professionally?
Yeah, like I said earlier, when I was younger, I was always like, I want to be a professional athlete. I have, booklets of like writing journals. I guess we had to do in elementary school and everything's like when I'm a professional athlete or when I play soccer. But I didn't ever think it was going to be possible to pursue lacrosse as a professional athlete or in the Olympics. And it's crazy, and I'm super lucky, kind of with my age, where the year I graduated college was the first year of professional lacrosse, and then year 2 after college was the WPLL, and now the dream of being in the Olympics is so real. So I've been super lucky with that.
It's amazing, how the sport's really come such a long way professionally, and that, you guys can actually be professionals in this sport, and it's not just, a thing you do on the weekends, which I think is great. Obviously you have your coaching career as well, but, I think that's the opportunities that the WPLL have been providing are phenomenal. But with that being said, now is a good time to dive into our 5 and 5 segment. So I'm just going to ask you 5 quick lacrosse-related questions and 5 quick life-related questions, and you will go from there.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so the first one we have is, what is your favorite lacrosse moment at USC?
Beating Northwestern at Northwestern my senior year.
Awesome. Number 2, who is the funniest teammate on the Brave?
Probably Kelsey Donnelly.
Okay, is she like a one-liner type of person, or what makes her so funny?
I don't know. I just feel like everything she says, I laugh at, and I feel like she'll go from being on the sideline with no equipment on, throws her equipment on, gets in goal, and is making like crazy saves. And I think it's so cool and it's hilarious.
That's funny. All right, number 3, what is your current lacrosse stick setup in terms of shaft, head, stringing?
Well, this season I played with the Warp.
Okay.
It was definitely something I'd never used before, but it was very cool.
Number 4, you scored 9 goals and assisted 5 of your teammates this year for the Brave. Which of those goals was your favorite and why?
I would have to say the winning goal on championship weekend against the Fight, just because I feel like, anybody, if they were in that spot, could have scored it, but it was just kind of crazy because the ball literally rolled into the net, and I was very lucky with that, but it has to be the game-winning goal.
I had a feeling it'd be that one, but, I kind of had to ask. All right, number 5, where's been your favorite place to play lacrosse in your career since you've played at so many places?
I would definitely say when we were in England and Japan, but I guess collegiately we had the chance to play in the Coliseum at USC a few times and Wrigley Field, and those were really awesome. But just because of it being at our college, I would have to say the Coliseum.
Awesome. All right, now we'll dive into the life-related questions. What was your favorite class at USC?
I took a lot of sports media classes where famous people came in and spoke to us all the time. So I would just say any class in the sports media communications school. I took this PR class and we got to sit in the press box of every professional game in LA.
Oh, that's awesome. Any cool guests that you had in class or anything?
Yeah, we had everybody you can think of. Kobe Bryant, I went to a class with him.
Oh, that's great. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so number 2, you've got to experience the best of the East Coast and West Coast. Which coast's beach do you prefer?
I love the West Coast beaches more to lay out and be there and hang out, but the East Coast the beaches are a little bit warmer and I don't like the cold. So I go in the water on the East Coast more.
Oh, interesting. Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Number 3, favorite activity or hobby to do when you're not playing or coaching lacrosse?
Snowboarding.
Oh, okay. Where do you like to snowboard?
Well, I went for the first time to Colorado this past winter break, and that was awesome. But usually I kind of just go wherever I can fit it in the few days that I'll have off.
All right, number 4, do you prefer to cook in, take out, or dine out, and what is your go-to meal?
I love to cook, but I don't really have time for that, so I'd say dine out and sushi.
Sushi, okay. Yeah, fellow Long Islander, Kylie Oldmiller, was also sushi, so.
Yeah, that's awesome here.
Yeah. Number 5, what's a book that you've read that you'd recommend to a friend?
I recently just finished Where the Crawdads Sing, and it was an awesome book. It's about the marsh girl, and it was just a book I didn't want to put down, so I would definitely suggest reading that book.
All right, good recommendation. All right, that wraps up the 5 and 5, but I do have one final question for you. What is one piece of advice you would have for a young athlete with dreams of playing professional lacrosse?
I would tell them to be honest with themselves with, who they are as a player, and to get better and work on and grow at their weaknesses, but also to make sure that they continue to grow and work on and practice every day at their strengths, because at the end of the day, you need to play within yourself, and you can't be anybody else out there. You have to be your best self. In order to be your best self, you have to know yourself and just, work your butt off and have fun doing it.
Yeah, I agree. Like, if that's the nice thing about, you guys now being professionals, you kind of give, these young athletes something to aspire to. So I think that's some great piece of advice. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate having you. And again, congratulations on your WPLL Championship. I'm sure it was nice to finally, get that win. And, you were a huge part of it, having those 3 goals in the fourth quarter. So, again, congratulations for that. And we appreciate you coming on our show.
Thank you, and thank you so much for having me.
All right, so you just heard Amanda Johansen, WPLL champion this year. Very pivotal in that WPLL championship win for the Brave. We enjoyed having her on. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to this. Be sure to subscribe, and we hope you tune in next time to Pro Lacrosse Talk.